Hi, this is book update number 7,227. Feels like that anyway. Working away on a portion of the book right now where we're going region by region around the world and looking at the values for the people who live in those different regions, which is a little bit of a academic exercise, sort of, because no one's ever going to market a product or a service or a brand to an entire region of the world this way. And if you did, you'd be kind of silly. So you're going to still need the operating system for your specific product or service or brand in order to understand how to operate within one of these regions. But nevertheless, it's still very interesting to look at 9 different regions of the world and see how the people who live in those regions vary when it comes to what they care about and what drives their lives and what's the wellspring of all of their feelings, emotions, decisions, and behaviors. So in Africa, we see some really, really interesting things coming up. And I don't know Africa very well. I've never been there. But after my conversation this morning, it's now on my list of places I have to go. I got to spend an hour this morning with Nankhonde Kasonde, who's from Zambia. And we were, I don't know how, you meet people sometimes, you just click. We had an amazing conversation. And what she was able to do was look at the top 10 list of values for the continent of Africa. Remember, that's like 40-something countries there. But for all the people in the entire continent, there's certain values that rise to the top. And she was able to talk me through how these manifest themselves in her experience living and working there. And of course, she's a market researcher, so she definitely knows what she's talking about because she spends her days figuring out what makes people tick and using different methodologies than we do. But still, we had a common language there around research. So here's a couple of quick things that were very, very unique to the African continent that we had a good chat about this morning. Things like relationships and community being at the very, very top of the list, the most important things in the entire continent, whereas family and belonging, which are usually at the top in other continents around the world, were further down the list. So relationships and community, way up at the top. So is religion and spirituality, which I found quite unique. It doesn't show up near the top very many places other than in Africa. And then we saw some values here that showed up that we so rarely see. It prompted me to reach out for an expert. These values that are so rare are respect, loyalty, harmony, balance. They show up in other parts of the world, but very rarely in the top 10 like this. So we've got relationships, community up at the top, rare. Family down at number 4, rare. Religion and spirituality up at number 3, really rare. And things like respect, loyalty, harmony, and balance showing up at also incredibly unique and specific to the continent. So we had this amazing conversation. She was able to put the whole thing into context for me. I have to go back and rewrite the whole chapter, basically, based on what I learned this morning. So there's a collectivism that happens in Africa that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. An understanding around how everybody is interconnected with each other, and that the glue that kind of holds all of that together, this relationships, the sense of community, watching out for each other. She was telling me things about how they understand in their bones that as long as there's another human being around, everything's going to be okay. These are foreign thoughts to my Western ears and my Western ways of looking at things. It's a big, big summation of an hour-long call that was just full of one fascinating connection after another, and yeah, that's what I got to tell you about today. And check in again when the next big light bulb goes off.